Ex-royal butler Grant Harrold has shared new details about Harry's romance with Chelsy Davy, including their secret double dates with Will and Kate. Now, of course, what do we think how Meghan Markle will be feeling with these revelations? Is she upset?
I don't think Meghan would like these new details. So, of course, Grant Harrold recently released a book, which we talked about. He spoke a little bit in the book about the relationship with Chelsy, but he actually has become even more candid since the book's come out. So he was at a release party for the book recently in the UK. I believe he was talking to GB News, and he spoke about even more about the cosy foursome, you know, this original Fab Four of Harry and Chelsy and, of course, Will and Kate. And supposedly they were so comfortable in each other's company and so relaxed that they would often, the four of them would just go to the local pub.
Wow.
Right. So it was this sort of cozy relationship where they would do that. I could never imagine Meghan and Harry and Will and Kate in a pub. I don't know about you.
No, I don't think so.
Right. But supposedly they would. with Chelsy, they would hang out in the pub. It was all very cozy. And I think the one line that Grant has said that I think would probably cut Meghan pretty deep is he said that they were a happy family that got along. Very hurtful, but again, you know, it could have all been so different.
Yeah, couldn't it? I know, I've spoken about that before, isn't it interesting? Royal author Sean Smith has published a brand new biography on Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and you recently spoke with Sean. What did he say about Sophie in the new book?
Right, I thought this book was quite interesting. So Sean's basically kind of chronicles Sophie's entire life in the royal family. Famously, she married Prince Edward, Queen Elizabeth's youngest son, in 1999. It was the last royal wedding of the century and very much sort of the end of an era, because before that we had Diana and Fergie, these sort of very polarising people that came into the royal family, and it all kind of ended in divorce, and it was, you know, so much drama. And I think Sophie was such a breath of fresh air when she came in the 90s. And it's actually really interesting reading the book. You sort of see the parallels there with perhaps Meghan and Harry today. I mean, Sean was very cautious to kind of draw that parallel. I think that he thinks that Sophie's very much someone who sort of stands on her own and has her own identity, but I couldn't help but notice a pattern there. And basically what happened was in 1999, when Sophie and Edward married, I think people forget this because they're such hardworking royals, but at the time they had careers. You know, they were not full-time working royals. They both had professional careers. Edward had a film production company. Sophie had a PR agency. And within a couple years, you know, that all kind of fell apart because there was a sting operation, a newspaper went undercover. They recorded Sophie. She thought she was meeting with a PR client. She was meeting with an undercover journalist. She was caught making comments, disparaging comments about a bunch of public figures, including the then Prime Minister. It was all a big scandal, and it's kind of all been forgotten now. But I think that the lesson from that was that it doesn't work to be half in, half out. And I think it was such an interesting parallel to see that Sophie and Edward, they understood that. They saw that it didn't work. They kind of gave up their careers and they focused on being working royals. And a credit to them, you know, they've never put a foot wrong. The contrast with Meghan and Harry, who basically chose the other one, you know, it was made clear to them you can't be half in, half out. And instead of choosing the life of service, the life of, I think, a more meaningful life, they chose Hollywood. So yeah, it's such an interesting parallel, but a great book. And who doesn't love the Duchess of Edinburgh?
Reilly Sullivan, thank you so much for joining us. Great to speak to you.
Thank you.